Hi, this is Nanette Hosenfeld with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Thursday, July 16th, 2020. Looking at our fire potential impacts for the next few days, we are concerned about the potential for some isolated dry thunderstorms across the Sierra and parts of Nevada and Utah today. There will be some really gusty outflow winds connected to these storms. It is pretty dry. Further east into Utah, we are looking at the potential for a mix of wet and dry thunderstorms. As we move into Friday, we keep that thunderstorm risk, but the area of coverage for those thunderstorms will decrease quite a bit. They'll become much more isolated on Friday. However, on Friday and Saturday, we're looking at a wind threat. We will see winds gusting in the 30 to 35 mile an hour on Friday and Saturday across parts of Idaho. Over the past 24 hours, there was some thunderstorm activity across the central and southeastern part of the Great Basin. These storms had about a quarter of an inch of precipitation with them, a little bit less. So, again, mix of wet and dry thunderstorms across southeastern Utah yesterday. As far as fire activity across the Great Basin, we picked up some new starts across the area yesterday. It's been very dry across the Great Basin over the past 2 weeks. Typically, during this time of year, we would be seeing a pretty significant surge of monsoonal moisture. This is typically when we start to see that monsoon make its way into southeastern Utah and the Arizona Strip, far southern Nevada. But that really hasn't happened this year. And you can see looking at how precipitation compares to normal over the past 7 and 14 days, really we're well below normal with precipitation, not just across the southern part of the Great Basin, but really the entire area. So we've been stuck in a very dry pattern over the past 2 weeks. With that dry pattern in place, ERCs are definitely responding. Looking at ERCs in the 90th and even above the 97th percentile across portions of central and southern Utah. Further north across Idaho, we're starting to see ERCs move up into that yellow category. They've been abnormally low this time of year, and the ERCs are starting to respond to the hotter, drier weather that we've seen across the north. Continuing to look at those ERCs, GB3 in southwestern Idaho, which has been below normal pretty much the entire year, is now beginning to approach normal ERC levels. Further south in GB27, we are setting ERC records. So abnormally hot and dry, really high ERCs across the central and southern part of the Great Basin. Fuel moisture following similar trends with live fuel moistures at record low values in some sites and a little below average in other places. So with the lack of precipitation, the live fuels are definitely responding to that. Satellite this morning shows some cloud cover across the southeastern part of the area. We are seeing some showers this morning, some rain showers out of that moisture in the southeastern part of the Great Basin, and that moisture is what will be responsible for the thunderstorms that we are expecting this afternoon. Looking at today in more detail, you can see the areas that we've highlighted for a high risk of lightning across the Great Basin this afternoon. This is the area that will see the driest showers and thunderstorms today. Looking at today in more detail, you can see, further east across the Great Basin, we will see those showers and thunderstorms, but they are expected to trend a little wetter, but still a mix of wet and dry. Wind gusts we'll see the strongest sustained winds across the southern part of the area, southwestern part of the area, but any areas that do see those showers and thunderstorms will see some strong wind gusts connected to the storm activity. Moving into Friday, we begin to look at the threat of wind across parts of Idaho as a weather disturbance moves to the north, and we do hold on to that high risk for lightning across the Sierra tomorrow with some lingering moisture. Wind speeds tomorrow across parts of Idaho will be in that 35 mile an hour range in the afternoon. And as far as precipitation tomorrow, a little less moisture in place, and so the thunderstorms we see tomorrow will be much more isolated in coverage. As we move into Saturday, no high risks on the map. We are looking at generally lighter winds across the area on Saturday. With lingering moisture in place, we're expecting to see showers and thunderstorms pop up across a higher terrain of the central and southern part of the Great Basin again on Saturday. Over the next 3 days, not too much in the way of precipitation, not too impressive totals. The moisture that we're seeing is not very deep, and so we won't see a lot of rainfall out of these storms. As we move into Sunday, we still keep some lingering moisture across the central and southern part of the Great Basin. And moving into Monday, that moisture starts to deepen. If you look at our fire potential map on the right, you can see some of our southern zones starting to move into the yellow category. It's the first time they've been there in quite some time. So by early next week, it does look like that moisture does deepen and will start to have an impact on fuels across the southeastern part of the Great Basin. Moving into Tuesday, we will see that moisture increasing to the north. We're watching this closely because anytime we have a return of moisture to dry areas, there is the concern of lightning starting new fires. So it's a bit far out for us to be issuing anything for storms on Tuesday, but definitely something that we are keeping our eye on, and that trend continuing into Wednesday. Over the next 7 days, again, nothing too impressive as far as precipitation totals. In the 8 to 14 day period, the Climate Prediction Center is starting to show an area of above normal precipitation across the Four Corners region. So that bodes well for us. It looks like the monsoon will begin to set up towards the end of July, which is a more typical pattern for the time of year. And as far as temperatures, we are looking at above normal temperatures through the end of the month. That's it. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. Our information is on the screen, and you can also find us on Twitter. Thanks.